Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another amazing topic of conversations. First of all, I want to thank my sponsors, the Health Channel by South Florida PBS, and the program Ready, Check, Go by Thermo Fisher Scientific. And it is my honor to welcome Sharon Wallace, founder of Sola's Place. So, Sharon, welcome.
Thank you.
Uh, I know that by reading your bio and talking to you previously, you were a certified teacher for many, many years. And after you retired, you completely changed your line of work. So, tell us a little bit about that transition.
Gladys, I thank you for this opportunity. Good morning. Uh, yes, after 32 years of working with Miami-Dade County Public Schools, fabulous career and experiences, and as a national board certified teacher, only 3% of America's teachers are national board certified. But in just 2 years of retirement, I noticed that uh, some of the strengths in my classroom were brain-friendly strategies with children, and we had 100% attendance all the time. They wanted to come to school, and it was because of the strategies there. So brain and brain health and brain work has always been my interest, and so studying about mindfulness and stuff, that's what I'm doing now on retirement. And published a work, Grateful Reflections Journal, with some of those habits. But I heard just about 2 weeks ago.
But wait,
uh,
let me before we go into that, I wanted to touch on because today we're doing something special in honor of the Veterans Day, which is coming
yes,
up next week. And I wanted to touch on because it was very disturbing, and
yes,
that's where you were going to say about the study that came out that 41% increase over the past 5 years between 2015 and 2020 among active service under 30 years have taken their lives. And this is really mind blowing that kids 30 years of age
yes.
that are willing to give up their life defending our country and in active service, they are committing suicide. So, why? Why are we seeing this increase?
Yes. So it was just 2 weeks ago um, that CNN put out this report that the US military increased by 41.4% in the 5 years between 2015 and 2020, that among active duty service members. Well, when I heard that, it distressed me, and I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to, only because I'm thinking, here are these young people, or just any of them at all, they're giving their lives, using their hands, getting armed to help America, millions of us be free to enjoy a good, and then they're sad, they're feeling hopeless and taking their young lives. The report says the suicide rate among active duty service members increased by 9.1% in 2020. And this is from a report that just came out regarding the military. And they're saying the findings are troubling. Suicide rates among service members and military members are still too high. And that's from our Secretary of Defense. That's from Lloyd Austin. Also, there are different chiefs, and that's what they're saying. So they're still studying, and I understand what you asked, Gladys, but they're still studying to find out why. They say the report acknowledges that the pandemic could have been multiple factors that contribute to well-being and suicide risk. They say they're going to redouble their efforts to provide all the people with care and resources that they need to reduce the stigma and barriers to care. So whether someone is stressed and then probably don't tell them, because they're saying that there might be a stigma. And they're also wanting to ensure that the community uses simple safety measures and precautions to reduce the risk of future tragedies. And that's from our Secretary of Defense, from Lloyd Austin.
So, Sharon,
Yes,
you are about vitality,
yes,
flow, God given potential,
yes,
and above all, hope.
yes.
So, how do we give hope to our veterans? The ones
Uh,
that they feel that they're hopeless. How do we empower them?
right. My philosophy and really my first thinking is once there is breath, there is purpose. If you are breathing, you're here for a reason. And there is that purpose. So that is the first thing. If my in my mind I wake up and I think I have purpose. Why am I here today? That's taking me off the track of thinking to hurt myself. And then there's habits. Stephen Covey, in his work about the 7 habits of highly effective people, in his book, he talks about private habits that give us victory and habits of journaling. Um, Hope just means I believe in something. And I will share there is a concept of the 1% principle. Just do one thing positive and different for the day. And I think if with that hope, if I am breathing, I can do this. And then in my journal, Grateful Reflections Journal, I do have habits,
Um,
self-affirmation,
before,
gratitude.
before we talk about the
Yes.
journalism, what is the opposite of hope?
Well, that's what takes, causes someone to be distressed. What leads to mental disorder is hopelessness. When I feel that I don't have that purpose, there is no hope, or whatever I'm experiencing is too big for me to overcome, then I give up. But at the same time, regarding this report that we have with the vets, remember they're still studying to see how can they help this group, which breaks my heart because it's the young people who have given their life. But I think if they just have hope that they can be armed and in their own hands, yes, they fought because they're deployed somewhere and then they come back. And if they can just have that hope, armed with hope and a new purpose. And I want to share that principle of 1%. You need to make only one genuine improvement today to have some success. The positive outcome here is that when you consistently make positive changes in your life, you will become more empowered and less tempted to procrastinate or hurt or be hopeless. And it's a principle by Chris Gardner, the 1% principle. He's the one who overcame homelessness and was able to go on to a productive life and even an author. It's a huge concept, Gladys, that principle of 1%.
So after the 1%, I know that all this is linked together. according to Oprah, journaling can change your life.
Yes,
So I know that you wrote a book and you
yes,
have steps to guide us through journaling.
yes.
So now please tell us about what journaling is all about and all the benefits.
Okay. There are merits to it. And even this quarter, partly Oprah's books are now in quarters. So for this quarter of the fall, she has an article, Journaling Can Change. I'm sorry if it's shifting. Journaling can change your life. And in it, it talks about just the merits of boosting your immunity, certainly reducing anxiety and reducing stress, um, relaxes the mind. It's a right and left brain activity. So you take the anxiety out of the body, out of the mind, you get it on paper. So that's another, it lowers blood pressure and gives the writer a way to handle emotion. And
Is there a right way or a wrong way to do a journal?
I think probably if you only write, I am not sure. Only because I think even if you just write, if you start by, there is that also that concept of start where you are. So there might just not be a wrong way. Begin where you are. Write what's in your mind, write it out. If it clues you to probably need help or therapy or a counselor, then you might want to try for help. But it should not be where like you increasingly become aggressive or anger. That should not be in the journal. But it's okay to express that if there is distress or someone is harming a person. Write that out, get it out, but also get help. But in mine, it's a guided journal. So it coaches the writer and with habits. And that's what mine was, as an answer to what we went through with the pandemic last year. And now we heard about all the distress that people are experiencing. Well, this guides you through self-affirmation, building the self inwardly, um, goal, gratitude, one merit of that, being thankful. And here we are in the month of November with Thanksgiving coming up. Um, Gratitude leads to happiness. You can hardly be saying thanks and be grateful and then be sad at the same time. So it boosts happiness. Um, Definitely changes mood.
And
So
where
that's in here, and also goal setting, and all that is on a daily entry gets the writer to empower their day.
so where can we find your book?
This is on Amazon .com, Barnes and Noble. I've also seen that Walmart. It can be, when you go online, Walmart, Target, but certainly Amazon and Barnes and Noble. I know for sure. Grateful Reflections
Well,
Journal,
everyone, get the book,
Sharon Rose
start
Wallen.
your
I'm sorry.
journal. And if you go to Amazon, just go Amazon Smile and put the Power of the Heels Foundation. So Sharon, let me
Yes,
ask you something else. So
yes.
this can be applied to everyone and not only the veterans.
This is for everyday life. I have journaled majority of my adult life and certainly through my career. It made the difference. Um,
When you
it
were
organizes your thoughts, organizes your mind, gives you clarity. Sometimes you're distressed and oh my God, why am I here? What do I need to do? Well, when you write it out, you're organized. And even Oprah, she says, I've been journaling since I was 15 years old. And she gives other examples of what she does. And then she goes, now I do a combination of gratitude journal and trying to give a perspective to what I'm writing about. So I know for certain, I've on her shows, I have heard her talk about that, but here it is huge in her magazine. Journaling can change your life. And this is current right now.
So now talking back to the veterans,
Yes,
when they come back and they want to reinsert to normal life,
yes,
how can they do that? What's their transition? How can we help them?
right, right. I agree. That's a beautiful question, Gladys. And I plan to become active with the veterans group in Miami. I have researched that. And you need to know all this has been happening in my life since I heard the report on CNN over the past 2 weeks. So what I know is that every day is for living. Life is for living. So when they return, I would think be armed with hope. Not only, let's say, my journal, but hope in my mind. If I am breathing today, I have purpose. I have just come back from a deployment. I helped my country. So again, that's still the affirmations. Think on the self affirmation. What good did you do? Think on the good. Again, the 1% principle. I can think on the good. I can, and I made a little list. I can, I just came back. I used these hands to help America, the greatest country in the world. Then I need to use these hands now to build myself. But I don't know, Gladys, if there needs to be that training part on the return or the support on the return. That might be a need. Um, but they shouldn't, because what might be happening is that they come back and then they feel, then what's my purpose or what do I do? But it's, again, going back to Covey's work, private habits that lead to public victory. So it has to be something that that person is still doing in their mind, in their habits, in their daily strategies that makes the difference on their outlook. You understand what I'm saying there, Gladys? That makes the difference on the outlook. Then I won't think, let me take my life. It's a different trajectory, really.
Yeah, it's changing them towards a different path.
Yes,
So you were talking about both brains
yes,
and how do they work. Did you
yes,
apply all this through all the 30 years of teaching to your
yes,
students?
yes.
And
My,
tell us your experience with that.
well, awesome, awesome. It's brain-friendly strategies and just knowing that even art, when you draw, that's right brain creativity. But then I would have them put a title to it or a summary word to it. That part then is the critical thinking and logical. So that is just right and left brain. Also, for teachers in the classroom or even just parents with children around, having predictability. And this might be something again with even the vets because it's young people. They're still understanding their life and figuring out themselves. But having that predictability that I return and this is what happens. So in the home or in the classroom, predictability, having a calm demeanor. The child should not get into school and feel stressed. The teacher's tone should, or the routines should make them feel calm. My kids were in school all the time. We won 100% trophies all the time. Parents would visit for parent-teacher conferences, and they would say, Miss Wallen, I don't want to leave. And those were the parents speaking with me. So the environment, when I look back, it were those brain-friendly strategies. We are wired for peace. The brain, again, Carolyn Leaf's work talks about the neural pathway. And we keep going with those pathways according to what we learned. So if home is stressful and last school year was stressful, then I come to school expecting stress. But when I have a teacher who says, good morning, come on in, and they're calm, nobody knows how often I would hear the kids, but this is different. And I'm teaching grade 5, and they had to go through quite a few homerooms. And in meeting my setting, it was very different. The bell would ring at the end of the day, and they would, already? And as a teacher, you're happy to hear that. Because then they weren't bored, they were enjoying school.
No, you're
So
absolutely right.
yes,
That's a
it's those strategies. And then because of that interest, then I was able to switch it now into mindfulness and affirmation for this part of my consulting work.
I just wanted to share, there
Yes,
was a famous rabbi, Rabbi Twersky. He was a psychiatrist and a psychologist.
yes,
And he wrote a book that was called It's Not As Bad As You Think.
yes,
And it was putting into perspective everything, because he said, for example, when you wake up in the morning, you're going to work, and if you lose your keys or you spill your coffee, that will trigger a whole different emotion, and that's the way you're gonna start your day.
yes,
But on the other hand, you think about the real facts, the real problems in life, it's really not as bad as you think. So
not as bad
spilling
as
your
you think.
coffee does not allow you to
I
ruin your
love
day.
that. I love that.
So he was extremely, extremely wise. He just passed away.
Oh,
So it's all about breaking your journey and
yes,
putting it into perspective of
yes,
what is important in life,
yes,
what matters, and being positive. It's
yes,
about the glass being half full and half empty.
yes.
Well, some people call it like that. I call it wearing your black glasses. Just take them off and see the light and see life in different perspective,
Yeah.
in color, not in black and white. So it is a pleasure speaking to you, Sharon. Our time is over.
Yeah.
I know I will be getting your journal,
Yeah.
and I hope that during your new venture you can really inspire, motivate, and not only veterans, but everyone around you.
Yeah.
So thank you so, so much. Everyone out there, have a great day. I will see you next week. And above all, stay safe.
Yeah. Thanks, Gladys. Thank you for
Thank
this
you.
opportunity. And happy Veterans Day when that comes up, and happy Thanksgiving also. The
Thank you.
beautiful month of November, and it's also my birth month,
Oh,
the
so
very last day,
happy
November
birthday in
30th.
advance.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you.
Bye, Sharon.
Thank you.